We are back with the brand new video. What is good, Heat Nation? And good morning to you guys. It is playoff day, baby. We are back in the playoffs, and game one of the first round between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks kicks off today at 5:30 Eastern. I am so excited. Now I know there's been a lot of negativity in the fan base about whether this team should have even fought to make the playoffs, whether they should have taken a lottery pick. All that is out the window now. We're in the playoffs. So guys, for once, let's just get behind the team. Forget everything else for at least for these 4 games, which is the minimum amount of games it's going to take for us to get eliminated anyway. But hopefully for 4 or 5 games for us to move on from the series. But at least for 4 games, we just got to get behind the team and just give them full support. No negativity, none of this. This is why we shouldn't have made it. This is why we should have had a lottery pick. What's done is done. Okay, we can't change any of that. It's no use, harping on the fact that we didn't make the lottery or we should have lost the play-in for a lot of people. It's whatever. I don't really care about that. What's done is done. We're in the playoffs, so. For these 4 games, guys, let's get behind the team. Now, obviously, the Bucks are heavy favorites, and they're probably going to win this series in probably 5 or 6 games. It's probably not going to be anything, that's what everyone thinks. It's probably not going to be a sweat for them. They're probably just going to win the series and move on. But nobody expects the Heat to win. I don't even know if the people inside of the Heat locker room expect the Heat to win, but who cares, man? Go shock the world. Anything can happen. It's the playoffs. We never know what's going to happen. I'm fully behind the team. I'm going to be supporting them like a true fan, like I've never seen them play before. What happened before in the season is out the window. The play-in is out the window. It's a fresh, new 16-game season, and first to 4 makes it to the second round. So we got to make sure that we're on top of our things. Now, the Bucks are obviously the number 1 seed, best record in the NBA. They're extremely formidable as a team. They have a ton of great talent, and they're the championship favorites for a reason. It's because of their extremely well put together roster that flows and fits together extremely well and meshes together extremely well. Starting off, we got the head of the snake, which is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis, obviously, we all know what he's about, man. MVP candidate, former MVP Defensive Player of the Year. We all know how to slow him down. It's by building a wall, but unfortunately, that comes with its consequences. We're going to get to that. Now, obviously, Giannis is a freight train. He's a freak. One-on-one against him is absolutely impossible. And it's going to be interesting to see who gets the Giannis assignment. Now, there is a lot of different variations that he can go with starters. I do not want them to roll out 3 guards like they've always have been. I think that's just a recipe for disaster against this tall Bucks team. The Bucks are one of the biggest teams in the NBA. And rolling out 3 guards against them is just I don't think it's anything. I don't think that's the recipe to beating them. I think that's honestly the recipe to disaster. And Jrue Holiday is a bigger guard. Obviously Chris Middleton is big. Giannis is big. Brook Lopez is big. Grayson Allen is about 6'4", 6'5". They have a big team. They have a pretty big team. And starting Hero, Vincent, and Strus in the backcourt and in the small forward position, I just don't think it's going to work out against this team. So I think a change is going to have to be made. Now, who slides into the starting spot? There's 3 options, in my opinion. You can either go Caleb Martin, you can either go Kevin Love, you can go Haywood Highsmith. Between those 3, I expect one of them to be the starter. If he starts Strus, I'm going to be extremely shocked. If he starts Strus, I'm going to be extremely shocked because Strus is the guy that will probably make way for any of these forwards to be a part of the starting lineup. So if he starts Strus, or if he starts, maybe he could put Hero on point guard and have Vincent come off the bench. I don't know. But if he starts all 3 of those guards at the same time, then we're getting swept. I just don't see us, putting up a fight against this tall Bucks team. It's just a recipe for disaster. And you can be as stubborn as you want, Spo, but you got to see that when they have extreme size, we're gonna get outmatched on the boards and on the interior with only Bam and Jimmy as our 2 front court players. So yeah, Giannis, we all know to slow him down, we have to build that wall. Now obviously this is prone to other shooters getting hot for them. It's kind of like pick your poison. Would you rather Giannis go off, or would you rather you take your chances with the shooters? And I think the Heat have always said they'll take their chances with the shooters and just let their best player be kept quiet. So I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to load up on Giannis. They're going to send bodies at him everywhere. And there's going to be guys that are open, and we're going to have to live with them missing shots or making shots. Now, Chris Middleton, his running mate, is coming off an injury, so we don't really know how healthy he's going to be. And then Jrue Holiday, we all know like Jrue Holiday is like one of the best glue guys, Swiss Army knives in the NBA. Like it's probably disrespectful for me to even say that because he's an all-star caliber player, not just a role player. But defensively, he's been playing all defensive level basketball, and then obviously offensively, he's very underrated as well. So extremely strong, physical big guard who can really cause problems. I do expect him to get either the Butler or the Hero matchup for sure. They have a defensive player of the year candidate, and Brook Lopez, probably my defensive player of the year if we're asking each other at this point. He's probably my number one for DPOI. He's been playing extremely well, man. Extremely good rim protector. Underrated on the perimeter, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't think he gets his respect on the perimeter. And then obviously offensively, we all know like right now he's becoming a very natural floor spacing big, but he's always had his post moves since his Brooklyn days. So those are their big four. And then obviously they have some more guys after that. In fact, they do have 3 former Miami Heats on their roster in Jay Crowder, Myers Leonard, and Goran Dragic. I don't know why I said Miami Heat. I just said Miami Heat players. But all 3 of them were in the bubble, and the Heat made it to the finals. They'll definitely have some inside scoop on how to slow down Spo because like they know him in and out. So especially Goran. Goran is going to be a huge asset for them in that category. Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Joe Ingles are all capable and very, very capable shooters. AJ Green was someone that lit the Heat up in one of these games, if I'm not mistaken. And then off the bench, they have a 6th man of the year candidate in Bobby Portis. They have a pit bull in Javon Carter. They have spacing in Wesley Matthews and Jay Crowder, both former Marquette guys who play with Jimmy Butler and who know Jimmy Butler. And then obviously they have some youth in Marjon Beauchamp and yeah, man, I don't think he's going to get many minutes, but they just have a very, very deep team, man. Marjon Beauchamp is like their 12th man or something. Like, it's crazy. And they're going to be extremely, extremely tough to beat. Even Jimmy said it himself. We're going to have to play like damn near perfect basketball to even like have a chance against this team. But we are capable of doing so. And I think the Heat, you know, again, it's all going to start off with who Spo decides to start and what the matchups are going to be. Now, obviously, I do expect Middleton to be checked by Jimmy. And then I do expect whoever the front court player is, you know, I wouldn't, if he starts Strus, then obviously Jimmy and Bam will have to check Giannis and Brook, but I just don't think he can start Strus or I don't think he can start the 3 guards. If he starts the 3 guards, I'm going to be extremely surprised. If he doesn't though, you would expect Jimmy to check Middleton. You would expect whoever that forward player is, whether it is Caleb or Highsmith to check Giannis, and you have Bam on Brook. If it's Kevin Love, you probably would have him on Brook and have Bam on Giannis. So there's 3 different directions that you can go with the starting lineup. And then obviously you would probably have Vincent or Lowry, whichever one, on Jrue Holiday. And you'd have Hero chasing around the shooter, Grayson Allen, around the court. And that would probably be the matchups, to be honest. So I do think that, you know, a starting lineup change has to be made, not because Strus has been playing bad. He just had his best game, but personnel-wise, it just makes a lot more sense. Chicago was a lot smaller than Milwaukee. Milwaukee is extremely tall, so I don't really expect Spo to roll out a 3-guard lineup against Milwaukee. I think that's just going to get us killed. So, and then off the bench, we're going to have some big contributions. Now, obviously, Victor Oladipo did not play against Chicago or Atlanta. He played against Atlanta, not against Chicago. But I do expect his number to be called. I expect Duncan Robinson's number to be called. I do expect Kyle Lowry's number to be called. And then obviously whoever comes off the bench between Strus, Martin, Vincent, you know, one of them. And then Cody Zeller would probably be the backup big, or Kevin Love if he's not starting. So that I do think is our bench. Now, obviously, you know, our bench scoring has not been the best this season. You know, it's been not that great, but we're going to need to have key contributors off the bench. Now, obviously, Lowry had his extremely good game, and then he kind of didn't do much. He got a knee injury, so I do think that we're gonna need our bench to step up for sure, man, because the Bucks bench is actually extremely underrated, and you know they have guys on their bench who are just capable of knocking down a lot of threes. You know, that's what their bench is going to be. You know, we're going to have to force their bench guys to attacking the rim. Jay Crowder, Pat Connaughton, Joe Ingles, Javon Carter. All of these guys are more reliant on shooting 3-point jump shots. Even Bobby Portis, like, he's more reliant on shooting jump shots than, you know, finishing at the rim. So we're gonna have to force these guys to finish at the rim, and then obviously it's gonna have to come down to the 3-point shooting. If the 3-point shooting is by the Heat is awful, then we have next to no chance of winning this game because we are very reliant on our 3-point shooting. And honestly, without it, it's going to be extremely tough to beat this Bucks team because on the interior, they're extremely good defensively. Brook Lopez and Giannis are a force on the interior. So a lot of our shots are going to be threes, and the Bucks do give up threes, but they do have a very good, statistical record as far as defending the three. So they do give up some open threes, but not a lot of teams make them. So if we make our threes, it's going to be extremely fruitful as far as the points that we score, because our shooters have to knock down shots this year. I do expect Duncan Robinson to get some minutes because of that. And then obviously Bam is gonna have to be huge, man. Bam and Hero both. The Bucks do like to run drop, so Hero is gonna have a lot of daylight when Bam sets screens, and he's gonna have to knock down those pull-up jump shots. And then Bam in the mid-range is key. Brook Lopez loves to sag off and kind of just sit in the paint a lot of the time. So Bam is going to have to make him pay with that mid-range jump shot. He hasn't been knocking it down in the play-in, but we're going to need that mid-range jump shot. And then Jimmy, finishing off, Jimmy is Jimmy. Jimmy's going to have to be Jimmy. He can't, not be aggressive. He's going to have to come out, put his stamp on this game, and we're going to have to steal one in Milwaukee if we want a chance of winning the series, because if they go 2-0 in Milwaukee, they're probably going to steal one in Miami. So, yeah, man, that's probably what we're gonna have to look forward to. I'm very excited for this game, man. I wanted to get this video out to you guys sooner. My computer did have some errors that I had to fix. I couldn't really turn it on yesterday, but today everything is fine. I can watch the game properly, so I'm really excited, man. I might do a space 2 after, so check out my Twitter in the description. I'll see you later as always, man. Let's go Heat. Peace.